put your red shirt on and a brown coat too. Everybody joining the crew. We got just one drink that we rule them all. Hope you'd remember your thoughts. At your Ulu hammers and your Middle Earth guns. A sonic screwdriver or a sword plus one. Use Valerian steel it will get you to come. To the pit tank. To the pit tank. The Rocky Mountain pit tank.
Hi, I'm Guy,
Hi, I'm Alex.
and this is Geek Tank. And Alexa does not know that one, which was
Oh
a
my.
weird thing for Alexa to suddenly drop in on. So, yes, we
Alexa.
are short a Troy sized podcast,
Yes, and Alexa is trying to fill the void.
right? It's like the weirdest thing. That was weird. Oh, but I can turn on. Alexa, turn on Warp Core. I mean, computer, turn on Warp Core. Why are people firing off fireworks now?
Because excitement.
I
Because they
guess.
didn't have them on the 4th and they found the bag and they just got to use them.
Hey, Bob. Bob's
Go
here.
Sheets.
Yep. So we don't have a Troy this time around. We're unsupervised. Just Alex and me. We're totally unsupervised.
All right, time to whip her dicks out.
Anyway, yeah. So, what do you want to talk about tonight there?
I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with the geekly news. I was telling Guy earlier that I had I've had a day. I had a day of having our drain out from the house to the sewer needing to be snaked this morning, and so in an emergency fashion, not in a maintenance fashion, and the moving stuff around and making a path for the snake guys to get to the clean out hurt my hip. Oh god.
Right.
Not really my hip, just some of the just my muscles and such, but I'm just like, ugh, it's aging things for the fucking birds.
Right.
And but yeah, and as I was saying to the guy just before the podcast, I was down here a little bit early, like, you know what, I found a new song to put in my D&D character songbook. Where is that book? And I can't effing fucking find it. It's got like 3 places it ought to be. It's not in any of those places. I'm like, the fuck. Maybe I left it at Troy's, but Troy's not in town.
That was fun.
And Troy's usually pretty good about recognizing when stuff's not his and going like, "Hey, man, you forgot your fill in the blank."
X, Y, or Z.
So, yeah.
Yeah, he does. He does a good job of tracking that.
Yeah, he's got enough stuff in his house. He doesn't want to keep other people's stuff in it too.
Right. He's like, nobody else can stick stuff here. I've got enough of it.
Yeah. Hey, Brent. But
and everything.
Yeah, it's kind of where I'm at. I mean, like I said, I don't have any geek news. I guess we could like Google search some geek news if we really need to.
We could. I mean, I've been watching I've been watching Acolyte.
I've heard good things.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it quite a bit.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that, and also Andor. I haven't seen that either.
Yeah, I haven't seen Andor all the way through. That was one we were in the middle of when we were in the middle of that, and then we just kind of petered off at some point in time. So I was halfway through it. I even think I was like up to the last episode, and I'm like, how did I miss the okay.
Yeah.
So I got to go back in and watch more of it because that was fascinating to me too.
Gotcha.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, I haven't heard of Garbage and Glory. Cool though. I guess the geekiest things I've been doing this last week. My wife and I watched Dune 2. She didn't watch it in the theater with us, so it was her first viewing, and so we had to pause it a few times and I had to bring her up to speed on some stuff that she'd forgotten from the first movie, or just stuff that isn't terribly well explained,
right,
in part 2 or whatever. which I'm happy to do. And
Right,
then
right, right.
the kiddo and I, yes, the kiddo and I, we were watching. What were we watching? We were watching Trash Pandas. Cool. We were watching the original X-Men cartoon from the '90s, which it's still pretty decent, but it's and not just animation, but just kind of storytelling has come a long way
Yeah.
for kids since the mid '90s. And I mean, even then, the X-Men cartoon wasn't bad, and of course, it was overshadowed by what I would like to call peak Batman. We had Batman the animated series, just so good,
Hmm.
and
Bruce Tim. Bruce
so
Tim.
so good.
Mm.
But then it's we were watching that, and then I was like, okay, I got in my head, and I think I mentioned this a few episodes ago on the old Geek Tank, that I really think my child would make a great Lara from the movie Logan,
I think so
part of
too.
the X-23 project, which of course X-23 in the comics is just her, but in the movie it is that whole generation of created mutants are X-23. And I'm like, okay, well, in order to really understand the gravitas of the film itself and also what's going on in it, she needs a lot of context. So we've been watching all the X-Men films
Okay.
over the last several weeks.
Well, like Logan is a rough one though.
Yes. I mean, it was rougher for me than for her. I cried. Fourth
Yeah.
viewing, cried.
Still crying.
And
Yeah. It's
and
rough.
then but like we're watching it, and she is all in on she did goes like after the first like fight scenes when they escape, she looks at me, she goes, "Did they get cool costumes in this one?" I'm like, "Not that kind of movie, kid. I'm sorry." But I can I'm gonna see what I can find on Etsy or someplace
Mhm.
else and see what we can do to um get the two claws
Mhm.
for
Mhm.
her. I've got a friend, he's got the three Wolverine claws that I could probably borrow from him. Though I would like a single claw too for photo ops.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um
Mhm.
but no, she's all in on that, and we were talking about, and she's like, yeah, gray shirt, rainbow unicorn, jean jacket, jeans, boots, sunglasses, you're good to go.
Yep.
And claws, and we can totally just do photo ops at a Mile High Con or some other conventions, and it would be hilarious to do at NDK
I think so too.
because it's a little it's out of place but recognizable.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I haven't watched I haven't watched new X-Men '97 either. I've heard good things from people who I trust.
I have been watching X-Men '97.
Hmm.
It is really good in that they managed to capture the feel of the original X-Men. I mean, up to and including the opening credits music is the same, except updated.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think it's episode 5, is pretty brutal. So fair
Nice.
warning on that one.
Yeah, I did show her some of the stuff because we've been watching them in release order. So we just watched Deadpool 2 today.
Okay.
And okay, so Thingiverse, yeah, because what I was seeing for most at a glance, I didn't do a deep dive yet. At a glance, I was seeing like they looked to be like adult size claws, which of course I need to have
Not adult
non-adult
size.
size claws for
The small
because she's
person
the
who
small
is not
person.
adult sized.
Yeah, but yeah,
So
enjoyed it. But cool. I'll check that out. And
yeah.
I guess the next one up to watch is going to be what is it called? It's Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix came out in like 2019 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Then of course there's like New Mutants and stuff. And I actually was hoping that Disney would have had a collection already set up of like the entire MCU in order. And I didn't see it under Marvel Cinematic.
Right.
And I'll have to put some other things into their search engine and see what it says. So
yeah, it's actually. I mean, there are all these interesting things that are out there in this universe. It is kind of difficult now to start tracking things. I was noticing that as well.
Yeah.
not just Marvel, but Star Wars and even Star Trek is difficult to navigate. Like they're getting so complicated now. It is difficult to navigate all of those things. I find that interesting and complicated.
Yeah, I wasn't really hoping for anything even too in depth. Like I wasn't gonna be like, I want to see everything in chronological order of timeline and with offshoots for the different things. I'm like, just give me like a release date schedule, and I'll go through it. So
I feel it also shifts and changes at the whim of people.
mm,
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's definitely an issue. So,
right. Well, what do you what shifts like what's
Like-
actually like
like what they're going to release will shift. Like all the things that they're
oh,
going, oh, we're going to release all these movies. Oh, never mind, that actor doesn't work with us anymore, or this is not happening, or this guy's moved in, and that so like when you end up with things, especially with Marvel, because Marvel has everything so meticulously planned out, like all the movies interact with one another and stuff, and so I feel like we were doing great for a long time there, and then all of a sudden it just stopped operating correctly.
yeah. To answer Bob, yeah, it was originally released, but under Fox, but like Disney bought them. So, I think the only thing that's being made in MCU that's not Disney controlled I think it's Spider-Verse.
And it's
I'm not
because
100% on that, but I think that's the only thing I've seen that's major. Like I don't know about if they brought Blade into the fold or anything like that. I heard they're going to do a new Blade. I still haven't seen a theatrical trailer for Crow. I mean, I've seen it on YouTube,
right.
but I know that's not Marvel Cinematic Universe. I was just thinking, Blade, the Crow. I know Blade's under Marvel. Oh, so it's still under Marvel. So it means Disney got it when they picked up Marvel. Okay.
I feel like the reason why Spider-Verse isn't there is because it's all of that stuff belongs to Sony.
Yeah, Spider-Verse is still
Specifically.
Sony. At least as of the second movie.
Mm-hmm.
Which we just rewatched that because it's so good. But yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a different critter.
Mm-hmm.
But I think everything else is under Disney, and of course, it was an interesting statement that was made last night by our friend Kevin. Part of the reason that I'm watching the Macross movie is because Disney bought the rights to Macross.
Yes.
And the comment was
time out. Sorry, Guy.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, Guy was showing some friends of ours Macross the movie.
Yes.
Some of them for the first time just last week.
Yes.
So
that's right, because that was something that was discussed before the cameras rolled, so they wouldn't know that. Needless to say, I was showing Macross the movie to our buddies in our group because we've been kind of showing all of these old shows. Like, Troy has been going back and re-showing. Bob's not aware. So let me bring you up to speed, Bob, because Bob's my other buddy who's Macross related. My Macross friend is Bob. So Disney bought the rights to everything except the original Macross. So the original series and DYRL. And so, which is Do You Remember Love, the movie, the Macross movie. So they've got the rights to everything from Macross Plus onward, Macross 2 included. So Macross 2 through. And they're releasing them, and they'll have them on streaming sometime. We don't know when, but we know that the UK has already got Frontier and Delta on Disney. So it's any day now because it's now in the UK. So it's some people are trying to, they're guessing early August at the latest. So, but the thing that Kevin had made the comment of, Kevin's our buddy, was why is it Disney buys everything? And I was like, well, in this case, normally I'm like, That's true. I'm annoyed that Disney, but in this case, finally, I'll get to see all of Delta. I have that was Frontier was what was running when I was in Japan, so I got to watch it while I was there. But Delta came out after I came back here, and I couldn't see it. So I've never seen all of Delta. And so I'm like, you know what? Normally I would agree with you, but in this case, I actually am pretty okay with it.
Well, the reason why they're buying up everything they can is so that way they can own the IP and get all the money from it, and those reasons. However, I have to
Sure.
say that for the most part, like, and I've said this before, is that people don't pirate things because they just want to wave the Jolly Roger around. Most people pirate things because they want to. It's a service issue,
Mm-hmm.
and so if they can't get it legit, then they're going to pirate it. Especially since our culture has taught us that we need to have things.
We have to
Now,
have them.
I do have to say that as much as a Macross fan as I am not, I do love Macross Plus.
Mm-hmm.
To me, Macross Plus is the one-hit wonder of Macross. Like, and I say that like if John Bon Jovi and his band had only made Dead or Alive, sweet. I'm here for it. But seriously though, like
Fair.
Macross Plus is sweet. I love that show. And I was also thinking too, it's like, where do we onboard new fans on things?
Right.
Like with my daughter, I was like, you know what? X-Men is pretty formative. It has a lot of social issues from the beginning, first with racism, now with other marginalized peoples over the last few decades. There's some stuff here, and talking about like the different perspectives on how to use power. I'm here for it. There's some good lessons here. We can talk about these things. So I definitely, and for also for the context reasons, before I wasn't about to sit there and be like, let's watch Logan, kid. But when it comes to like Spider-Man, I personally think that the best Spider-Man is Spider-Verse. And it is also engaging for someone younger immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, yes, let's watch Spider-Verse. I'm not going to watch a bunch of middling to bad Spider-Man movies. It's like, Dad, why is he dancing in the beginning? It says we don't talk about that because we don't talk about that, kid. Just don't.
It's in big letters right there.
Yeah, but I mean, there's some other stuff too, like there's some other interesting arcs and such, so we might get into some of those singly, like the symbiote arc and stuff. Yeah. That's once again, it's a service issue.
Mm-hmm.
I do think. Sorry, just reacting to Brent's comment. Brent says, for those who don't know, to sum up, people also pirate things because streaming services are raising their prices, show them ads for stuff they're paying for, and multiple subscriptions. I would also like to add that I really hate that when the few times we've been on Amazon Prime, they're like, "Oh, we have this, but now you need to pay extra." It's like, I already pay you. What the fuck?
Right.
Eat shit.
That's my problem too, is the double paying.
Yeah. And so, but it's a service issue. And one thing I think is really annoying, like, because like when it came to watching Logan, I've got that motherfucker on the Blu-ray, and so I threw it in, and like, we're watching this with superior sound and everything. Here we go. And it's like, piracy is a crime. I'm like, skip, and it won't let me. I'm like, I bought this. Don't tell me that stealing it's wrong. Duh. And I just explained to Nova, I was explaining to my child, that it's like, people who actually steal the movies and stuff, they cut this stuff out.
Yeah, so it doesn't help.
Only the people who pay for it see this.
Which is the part that
and then I told them about, like, there's an episode of the Boondocks where they go watch a movie in the theater, and it's like, stealing a movie is just like stealing from the elderly. It's like someone mugs this old lady or murder. It's like,
it's just like, well, I mean,
yeah. So,
well, and
no, it's cool. I mean, yeah, so you have to see Macross. That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, and I get to see, and of course, you were just talking about formative, and I was thinking about that, and I was like, the real reason that Macross holds a very special place in my heart is, besides the fact that as a mecha guy, of course it's mecha and I love it, and it's one of the core mecha anime that have ever existed, but it was the transition, right? Like I was watching Robotech on TV, and so my friends at Open School said, "Oh, well, we've got all of Robotech on VHS, so we can watch it." And so during lunch, we all, for like weeks and weeks and weeks, we got the little TV on the cart with the TV strapped to the top and the VHS player strapped to the second, and we watched all of Robotech. And then at the end, my friend said, "Well, yeah, but this was based off of a Japanese show, right?" And I'm like, "No." And so then it was watching Macross the movie, which they happen to have. And people are getting beheaded and people are getting stepped on and eyeballs are going everywhere. And Min-Mei is naked. And I'm like, my brain is like, blam. I don't even know how to handle this. This is far more than I have ever, that was the moment of,
You became a man.
oh, that's what anime means. And so it will always hold a special place in my heart for that. But it is, watching it through the eyes of my buddies, and of course, yeah. I mean, it was you kind of watch it and you're like, this definitely is from 1984. You really can feel the 1984. It oozes 1984. And of course, watching it through my eyes, it's rose-colored glasses. We saw it only 5 years after it had been aired in Japan. You know what I mean? Like, so it was 1989 when I saw it. So it wasn't like it was horribly old at that point. It was still really, really amazingly cool.
Yeah.
And so
Cutting edge.
It was totally cutting edge. And it was, and so but you talk about the formative, and that's the thing, right? Like, that's what makes it so special, is that it was that core piece. And then, of course, that was when I learned that Robotech and Macross had two different timelines and went two different directions. And so following the Macross timelines became a thing. And there's and that is a different kind of appeal, I think. And it really appeals to those of us that love to track spaceships, loves to, because Macross is just full of, this model of Valkyrie and this model of Valkyrie. And this is a modified version because, it uses anti-electric warfare. And, this one's got an AWACS. And, like, it's sort of like it's got that militaristic machine aspect to it that's so attractive to certain people. Mm-hmm. which I find is also probably attractive to a lot of people who are Trekkies. Mm-hmm. And there is a connection between Macross and Star Trek specifically that I haven't quite been able to find. But somewhere, I mean, most of the people I know that are Macross fans tend to be rather close Trekkies as well. Not all of them, but certainly a good portion of them, enough to be significantly interesting.
Yeah, and a big overlap on the Venn. Okay.
Yeah, there's a big overlap.
Yeah, we speaking of formative, like I still have a working Laserdisc player. Last time I checked, but some things I still only have on Laserdisc, like Macross Plus,
right?
Like Akira, and Akira is on Hulu right now, and I'm like, oh, I don't know how long that's gonna last. My kid's a little bit too young for Akira.
Yeah.
But I was telling her, I was like, hey, you know what? Like, because it came up on like, you might be interested. I'm like, oh yeah, we are.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know right now, because like where Logan hits harder once you've got some age on you,
mm-hmm.
Akira I think hits harder when you're an adolescent.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, because I'm like, and no was like, well, what's it about? And I go, it's about how horrible puberty is.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh no. Instead of like, yeah, like, we love you to death, kid, but this movie's about a lot of things, and that's one of the things it's about.
Well,
like the
and
uncontrollable transformation that comes, and also the power that comes with that, and how that can be used and misused. And Akira.
yeah, Kira.
So
And it is, and that's. I might still be too young to watch Akira. I'm just saying. Like every time I watch Akira, I'm like, I don't know. I'm starting to feel like disturbed again.
yeah, I mean, it's got stuff for the grown-ups too.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like that's the thing that, as an adolescent, hit me the hardest, watching Akira for the first time. Of course, I'd been awake for something like 50 hours. But whatever. It's a good time.
Right.
Um,
Well, somewhere along the line, I did recently pick up a transfer cable for that specific job. So
hmm,
to USB, a transfer cable that goes from either RGB or S video or HDMI,
okay.
so that we can, because that's my battle plan, because I too have a working LD player.
Yeah. Well,
And
my LD only throws out, I think, it's just RCA.
right, which it has that too, to connect that in.
Okay.
So we can get it connected in. But Ninja Scroll, oh yeah, Ninja Scroll.
Oh yeah. That's fun, but gross.
It
But fun, but
it
gross.
is. It is. It
Like,
is.
yeah. Like we did watch Sam Sham.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I say this, I'm not a very big anime fan anymore, but I do love Shinichiro Watanabe
Mm-hmm.
and Smash Bros. Plus. But like, I saw also on Hulu, Space Dandies on Hulu, and I've never seen it.
Okay,
So that's
that's on your list.
yeah, it's a Watanabe,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so but right now I'm watching Shogun on Hulu,
Oh yeah,
which is sweet.
it is so good.
I'm like,
Oh man, Shogun
like,
was so good.
I love how, I wish it was like a director's commentary, because I love how they just slap that Tokugawa Hollylock crest on everything. I'm like,
Yes.
yeah. It's like reading Shogun. It's like, this is legally distinct from Ieyasu Tokugawa for real.
No,
I'm like,
really. No, it's
shut up.
not. Like they put
Shut
their
up.
hormone on there. Everything has their hormone. You know who else has the hormone? It's our. I'm not as good at these translations as Troy is. However, Geek Tank is sponsored by Kieran Games, Geekway Homes, The Massage Wizard, and Your
Your
Mother.
madre.
So,
Yeah, Bob says he fell out of watching Shogun and we're more than one episode at a time. Cool. I mean, I think the first season's over. I don't know if that's true or not,
yep,
but
first season's done.
I just started watching it, and honestly, like, it's so rare that I have a lot of time to watch things that I usually wind up being like, I'm getting tired. This seems like a good place to stop, or I'll back it up to the beginning of the scene. I'm like, good. See you in a couple days, buddy. But that's how I engage with the media. And yeah, I did watch what did I just watch? I just finished up Vampire in the Garden,
Nice.
which is on Netflix. And from the very beginning, I'm like, this is a really sad story.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched all the episodes. I'm like, that was a really sad movie. And it's like, that's too bad. It was recommended to me by a friend, so I got to talk to them about it a little bit.
Right.
Tell them what I thought. But yeah.
Somebody had reminded me last night, because I had started Blue Eyed Samurai.
Oh yeah, buddy.
And I haven't finished it. And they were like, "Oh, you got to finish it." And I'm like, "Okay." I had forgotten totally, and just flipped it, as is typical.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun show. I do like. How far did you get in the story? Do you remember?
I got to the big reveal, literally.
Oh, that's like 2 episodes or 3.
Yeah,
episodes.
I'm well. Okay, I got past that. I got
Okay.
to. I remember them falling.
Okay. There is a scene at the beginning of one of the episodes, halfway-ish through,
Hmm.
and it's when our hero, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head, is about to assault a castle, and I'm watching it, and they've got it framed up perfectly, of course, da da da, and I hear like there's this bell ring, bong, and I'm like, I know that fucking bell ring, and he goes, na na na, da na na na, boom 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 boom, dun. I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god, they're playing fucking For Whom the Bell Tolls in this fucking show. And they know that they've always wanted to get it. They're like, I don't know if we can actually spend the money for this. Oh, we're gonna try, and they totally got it. Like, we're throwing it in.
Nice.
And I was like, this is amazing, you fucking nerds.
Right. I know, right? Oh man.
Oh,
That's good. That's
yeah.
good. No, I'm gonna finish it. It's just I hadn't quite. I don't know. I got halfway through, and then I don't know. There's just a whole bunch of things I got halfway through,
Yeah.
and all of a
It's
sudden,
worth picking up again. Like
oh yeah,
I felt that the ending was kind of weak, but they wanted to throw into a sequel. And if it had ended the way it probably should have ended, there'd be not much of a sequel.
right, right. It does make it
no
difficult.
spoilers, but I'm like,
So that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. It was interesting. When it first started, one of my friends, who is older than us by quite a bit, had seen it, was geeky, but had seen it and was saying, wow, this is just way too much nudity, way too much violence. And I was like, for whom? Like, and I had the distinct, and they weren't an anime person, so they were in my other realms.
Yeah.
And I was kind of sitting there going, are we doing the thing where it's like kids shouldn't watch this because kids shouldn't watch that? Like, period. End of story. And so I don't know, but I remember that was the thing that stuck with me, because I was watching it going, this is excellent, and probably appropriately violent for the subject matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, if you're an anime fan, we've seen worse.
We've seen far worse.
We've seen, and by worse I mean more gratuitous.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like more gore and everything. It's just like stuff that isn't serving the story. It was funny that I did I watched it, and me and swords, and there's like a duel is observed and the guy gets cut here, but the blood like comes out like it doesn't come out the other side, but like they cut there and then they switch like to a different shot of the same scene, and the blood's going a different way than it would have, like from the positioning. I'm like, that's not how swords work.
Right.
It's obviously just a continuity error, but I'm like,
did they do that right? I don't know.
Like, somebody wasn't paying attention.
Right.
I see. Delicious in Dungeon. Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet, but I do want to. Heard good things. It seems like funny. It seems like a humorous concept.
I've seen the first. That's another one. I've seen the first half of Delicious in Dungeon, and it's the same thing. Yeah. It's like, why? What am I doing? Why do I keep watching half of these? Not finishing them up.
Like a new season of the Dragon Prince universe is coming out.
That was very popular amongst some people in our household.
Big fans. We're big fans. Good stuff. And then what's I see? I think about like stuff that's like weird. Bee and Puppy Cat. The kiddo and I have watched that.
Okay.
They've watched it a couple of times themselves, and it's funny, and sometimes surreal, and sometimes heartbreaking. It's cool.
Yeah, I'm completely shocked, Bob, that you're into the food aspect of.
Weird.
The thing that I love about Delicious in Dungeon is that reinforces my Rule 36 thing, which is if it exists, there's an anime of it.
Oh yeah.
Because there once was a time where I'm like, ha ha ha, if it exists, there's an anime of it. As time has gone on, it has gotten more and more true.
I did. This is reminding me of something that one thing that we watched that because we love the game
Mhm.
Persona 5. We watched the anime or Persona 5 the animation,
Mhm.
and it's one season, and
Okay.
then it's a handful of OAVs after that, or like
Okay.
special longer length episodes. I don't know how they fucking call it.
Right.
And the this season ends on a giant cliffhanger. It actually ends in a very logical place in the game.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil,
Mm-hmm.
but there are decisions and things to be made that take you past that point, which is what I'm guessing I'm just gonna call them OAVs take you to.
Right.
The what comes after that, this event. And I did a little bit of searching and I didn't find an answer that I kind of trust on whether or not like Crunchyroll has those OAVs. And I know you've got Crunchyroll. I don't know if you could search it up really quick for me or something.
Yeah, I'm looking there right now.
Because like it's like if so, then I'll totally get a 2-week free trial of Crunchyroll and watch those things.
Right.
Because like I said, it ends on a real big cliffhanger shock ending. And we're like, the kid and I were both like, wow, I'm really glad we played through the entire game, including all these different decision stuff. So that way we know this isn't the actual end of the story.
Right.
So we've just been watching this going, wow, this show's really stylish and this is really cool. And look at him go. We'd be like, what the what?
Right. Oh, for crying out loud. No, stop being obnoxious. Jeez.
Never.
Well, it's not you. I'm not worried about.
No, I'm like saying like your cat, never.
Never. You're right. Anything, never. All right. Clearly, this is becoming more of a problem. For crying out loud. Jeez. What? All right. Sorry. It updated the app.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Is cool.
That's disturbing. So. And naturally, it has forgotten everything in updating it. Good. It says, congratulations, you're already premium. Yes, I'm very aware. All right. What am I looking? See, this is now taking so long, I've forgotten the title.
Persona 5. There should be
P5A.
there should be one season and then like I said, like additional OAV type stuff.
All right. Looks like we've got episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 12, 16.
Yeah, it's
20,
like a full season,
24.
like 22, 26 episodes, something.
And then SP1 and SP2.
Mm-hmm.
I assume that that's specials 1 and 2 or OAVs.
That sounds like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then Persona 5, the animation, the Daybreakers. And then Persona 4, the Golden animation. Wow.
Don't care about P4.
All right. So, yes, looks like we got all of Persona 5, and it even has an additional. It's got 2 special episodes.
And then the Daybreaker.
The Dark Sun and Stars and Hours. And then the Daybreakers, which is separate, apparently. One season, 1 episode.
All right.
So, yeah, looks like it's all in there. You should probably just get a special
Crunchy trial.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So that works. And it took me way too long. So I've got a real problem there. I'm actually really rather annoyed with Crunchyroll.
Oh.
Because I mean, not. I'm just annoyed because I'm getting annoyed with all of the things that it's all of them. It's not just Crunchyroll. It's all of the streaming services. They all do the same dumb, stupid things that aggravate me. And it's like we want to sell you the stuff that you should watch these other things. And the more and more of these streaming services go down this line, the harder and harder it is for me to save the 6 things that I want to watch. Like Crunchyroll's really bad about it. Your watch list is like 2 pages down. And first is the new thing, and then some things that you might like, followed by some other things you might like, some things in the vein of the things that you like, and like all of these things. And so you have to scroll down to get to your actual watch list. And that's, if it was just Crunchyroll, that'd be one thing, but even Paramount Plus now offers all kinds of stuff except Star Trek. And I have to go through, and all I would use Paramount Plus for is Star Trek. That's it. So first I have to have like, the Masked Singer or what. I mean, like they haven't even figured out what I like, because all I've liked is Star Trek. So they have no idea what else I want to watch. So I get like all of these like love stories and NFL and all this stuff up there. And I'm like, you're way off the market. I just really want to just watch my Star Trek.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah, paying for a service and getting advertised, that's really annoying. I actually I started paying for YouTube to stop getting ads.
well, that makes sense. YouTube as a service hasn't actually been that bad.
Yeah.
And
I
at
did
least
that
at the moment, my ad blocker still kills the ads on YouTube until they figure that out, which I hear is on the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's a constant, arms race between ad blockers and ads. But it's like, I know that when we were poor in the 90s and the early aughts, it's like, oh yeah, just take my information. Who cares? I'm not going to think about that. Even though I had a friend when I was in high school who was like totally like, no, this is important. I'm like, I don't care, and now I care.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'll pay for the privilege of not having to get advertised at. I know you're still going to algorithm me, because of course you are, but I just have to worry about that and like, pay for the kind of the internet experience that I want. And then what else was there? There was also like, apparently you can get a Hulu subscription where they advertise to you. I'm like, fuck you.
Right.
I want that. Like, no, I'll spend the extra $5 and not get advertised at. Thanks. And then, and then I see AMC and Interview with the Vampire. That's cool. I mean, I haven't watched a ton of AMC shows, but god damn, Mad Men is amazing. I own that one all on disc. I should probably do a rewatch of that sometime. Maybe get a group of people together who want to do that. So, yeah. Mad Men's an amazing television show. And I know tons of people love Breaking Bad. My wife and I watched the first couple seasons of that before we're like,
I can't deal with it. It is just too nihilistic.
Well, we were watching him do his thing, and like the more I watched, the more I was like, this guy's a loser. This guy's a whiny, pathetic loser.
Mm-hmm. I didn't make it past the first couple of episodes. I mean,
yeah.
And it was just, everything was, his life is coming to a horrible and terrible end, all because he can't afford medical care. And I'm like, I don't want to watch this. This is real life for me.
Right.
I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch this.
Close to home. Yeah.
A little too close to home. This is why my mom left this world, is because of that whole thing.
Yeah.
She didn't make meth. Although now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, guess I probably would have decided that wouldn't be
a bad son.
It was like,
wait, Lauren and I didn't get, sorry, my wife and I didn't get past the first episode of Walking Dead. We're like, this is just people yelling at each other. and making dumb decisions. Like, I don't need to watch a TV show for this. I just go to the mall.
I went all the way through Walking Dead until way down. I mean, like, because I was well into the Sasha arc of it. Because Sasha was actually one of my favorite characters, and then of course the actress Sonequa Martin Green then moved from Walking Dead over to Discovery. So I think I was up to date to 2018.
Right.
And then once she moved to Discovery, I'm like, well, I'm heading over to Discovery.
Right.
Because I mean, I loved her in Walking Dead, and then they moved her over, and I'm like, well, I'm over here. So
Cool.
this-
Yeah, and now Mad Men's a great television show.
Mhm.
Just
I've been meaning to
Wow.
watch Mad Men. I haven't seen it, but I think that I would enjoy it. It seems like my friends who've watched it, it seems like one that definitely I'd be into.
yeah, it's a fantastic drama. There's not a lot of interpersonal violence.
Right.
The violence in the show, in almost every episode and everything, is systemic.
Yeah.
And it can be hard to watch for those reasons, but you're not going to see a lot of gore. There's only a couple instances where something happens and is almost always a freak accident,
Mm-hmm.
but not like a jump scare thing, but just sort of a, oh wow, this seems like it could be a bad situation, and oh yep, that was, as a viewer.
Yeah, I'm actually very annoyed with The Boys right now because they have a superhero that is just concentrated molecular jump scare. And because I don't mind the gore doesn't bother me at all, but jump scares really get on me, and they've got one character now. It's just all jump scares all the time, and I'm like, really?
Right.
And every time that character is involved in the story, I'm just waiting for the jump scare, and I get tenser and tenser and tenser, and my shoulders start to, and it's being hard. It's become very difficult to watch The Boys.
Fair. Yeah. Someone is Ozark. I've heard good things about Ozark, and have not watched it yet.
Haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
So
That's too bad about the Boys. I saw the first couple seasons, enjoyed them. Well,
yeah, I mean, I don't have any problem with The Boys at all. I actually really rather enjoy The Boys. My problem is the stupid jump scares.
right. Yeah, it was one of those shows that like we wound up like getting Amazon Prime for a month or something. It's like, let's watch The Boys.
Yeah.
Know.
And
No.
every time the thing I love about The Boys is, as soon as you're like, well, there is no way they can top this, they totally top it.
You don't know Garth Ennis, man.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I'm just saying, no, it's not Garth Ennis, it's TV. Like, there was no way they were going to do some of the stuff that I read in the comic. I'm like, there is
Right.
nope, here we are, and here we are,
Mhm.
and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
I'm talking about I'm trying to figure out a way to say it without giving away.
You spoil it for me. I don't care.
Spoil it. Well, because we're talking about the girl who the senator girl, not the senator girl, but the one who's in the politics. Because her special ability is making people explode suddenly, and
Well,
they
it's an explosion. It has to be sudden.
yeah, she can make people's heads explode.
She's like scanners.
Yeah, but the way they do it is always blah blah blah, and you're like, oh my god, because it's supposed to be that way. Makes total sense because everybody is shocked by it, as you would be. Yeah, I'm glad that she barely does it now. I've been asking Troy to just track when that happens and make note of it, because if Troy can make note of it, then at least I can relax on all the scenes when it's not happening. But
Right.
right now, because of the way they had set her up, it could happen at any moment.
Right.
And so I end
Yeah.
up spending the entire episode just tense, waiting for that to happen, and it's like, so it's brutal. But
Right.
yeah,
That
that's
reminds me of when we showed one of our friends Pulp Fiction, who'd never seen Pulp Fiction, and
right.
then other people, younger people who had never seen Pulp Fiction, came down to watch Pulp Fiction, and I'm just like, at the beginning of like every scene, I'm like, trigger warning, overt
Right.
racism, trigger warning, intimate partner violence, trigger warning.
Well, that one also has a brutal jump scare, but that's part of the story.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I know it. I know where it is and I know where it's coming from. So it doesn't bother me because I'm aware that it's coming. And usually, you'll notice that during that scene, they all like get into the car and I'm like, I'll go get food right now.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's like having, like your guided tour through
Trigger warnings.
trigger warning, jump scare, trigger
Oh,
warning.
good. Thanks, Brent.
You know.
Because I'm going to have to watch the new season somewhere along the line. So I appreciate you giving me a warning. Because like I said, I love the character. I love the concept of what she's doing and all that stuff. But that one thing is like finally like picking on the one thing that I hate. It raises my anxiety levels so high. So that's good to know. It's good if people are just keeping an eye on it for me. I appreciate
season 3.
it.
Oh, I could have swore I saw seasons 1 and 2. I don't remember the head popper. Because the season 1 ends with Homelander discovering he's got a kid, right? And season 2 ends with them failing to kill Stormfront.
Right.
So
The Boys ends with season 5. Yeah.
Well, hopefully they keep it, like high quality throughout.
I think Brent means aren't you on season 5?
Oh, it said season 3.
Yeah, that's why I was like, aren't you on season 5? Because I think it ends this season.
Yeah, Watchmen's not kid friendly.
I thought it ended this season.
Comic is great though, and the TV show Watchmen's really good too. I really enjoyed it. At least
we're on season 4, I guess. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense.
I've seen all of it up to the newest season that just started, because this is one of Troy's favorite shows, so we watch it routinely. So, but we just haven't seen the new season yet because we have other things that have gone through, which is fine. And she gives me stress. That character just gives me stress. And I mean, the first time that happened, it was, you don't want to warn me from that, because that entire scene, it's critical that be a jump scare. So, and I don't blame Troy for not warning me on that one. That was totally reasonable and complete, because I actually don't mind the jump scares if they really do come out of nowhere. It's when I know they're coming that gives me anxiety. So once that happened, though, it was happening routinely, and I was like, that's it. I can't do this.
Right.
So, but the gore doesn't bother me. The nudity doesn't bother me. I really dig what they're saying. So I'm kind of into that. That's a nice statement that they're making. So
yeah, we have some comments from Brent and Bob saying the Watchmen show was amazing, and that sad but happy they didn't do a season 2. It's like, so when I first heard that Watchmen was coming out, I'm like, I don't know about this. Maybe it could be cool. And then it was like, oh, one of the guys from Lost is working on it. I'm like, oh my god,
this could be bad.
And then it's like, and then I saw like a couple scenes from it, when so Sister Night goes and busts into the trailer park and grabs a guy and shrunks him to like Trent Reznor music. I'm like, okay, I'm here for this.
Right.
And then it was like watching, I watched it. I loved it. It seemed to be like, it was like 9 episodes, and I started watching some of the extras on it, or like some of the interviews, and the guy who's from Lost, I forget his name, he's like, yeah, we just figured out that we could just do it without all 10 episodes. And so we just tightened up everything and made it hit harder. I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then, but then it's like, people were asking, like, it's like a Comic-Con. It's like, what about a season 2? And he gets really quiet, and he's like, I worked on a project that
Probably shouldn't.
they didn't really know where they were going with it. And so if I'm going to do a season 2 of Watchmen, then I'm going to have to write it out first. And even if we wind up adding an episode or subtracting one, I still want to know where we're going with it.
Right.
And I'm like, dude,
Yeah. That's cool.
you like, I mean, you didn't throw anyone under the bus by naming names, but anybody who knows. And you had an experience and you learned from it and you're using it in your art now.
Yeah.
Brava.
I've got to admit that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Because we all know.
Yeah, and there's plenty of other stories that you can do in the Watchmen universe and Lovecraft Country universe too. Yeah, we watched Lovecraft Country, and my wife read the books and really enjoyed them, and noticed the many deviations from the show, but she said that it was still really well done and really good, which is cool. I'm here for it.
Sometimes the deviations aren't bad. I mean, there's something, I can't remember exactly what it was, but there was something that I watched recently where I had, Shogun, for one, obviously has a couple of deviations that are really nice, like elegantly done. That I'm like, no, I'm on board with these deviations because they were good.
Nice.
But there was something else also that I had read the book and read the book and had seen the show, and the deviations that they made were solid.
Mm-hmm.
And they would post out there on social media, we thought about going this direction with this character as it is with the book, but we realized that it was probably better to go. We'd talked about this with Dune,
mm-hmm.
where they're making the come on, Zendaya's character. I just lost her name.
Is that Shani?
Yeah, they're making her the POV character because it's all about Dune has been well known that the intention was to show the problem with falling for a messiah or.
Oh yeah.
And so they made her the POV character on that because Dune wasn't quite clear in the first book about that.
Right. Yeah. And in the book, she really is more of a Paul cheerleader.
Right.
But yeah, no, totally. And we should probably, we should talk about more about deviations in Dune and other things. But we are pretty much out of time. There's one thing I did want to touch on first, though. What was it? I don't remember. Whatever.
Well, we'll be back next week, and probably it'll be you and me again, because I think that next week Troy is even further away from any place.
Further afield, most likely.
Yeah, so I think he's even further afield than what we've got. So it'll be just you and me again.
All right.
But maybe we'll think of something we can come. Although this wasn't bad. For we have no plan. This turned out pretty well.
Yeah, and like we got some Dune in there. We got some other stuff. We got Shogun. Oh, that was it. Shogun. I have to say that I appreciate that the name of the pilot episode is Anjin.
Yes.
Which means pilot.
Yes. It does.
Good job, guys.
I was like, that's fair. That's fair. So, whoa. You plan your shows? No. Clearly we don't.
Not remotely.
Right? And that's true now because Troy's not remote. So there's that. Now we made a dad joke out of it.
All right, get out of here.
Okay.
Go to your other show.
I'm just saying that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us, Brent. Thank you for joining us, Bob. Appreciate having you here. We'll see you next time. Until then, I've been Guy.
And I've been Alex.
And this is Geek Tank.